What time is it? It's time to go head-to-head because I'm hanging out with Mike McCoy here at his awesome gym, Maximum Performance. You got that right. Come check him out in Bessemer because he be flexing to get the muscles strong for you. Hey, we're going head-to-head because guess what? Alabama's going to the SEC Championship, and they are playing the #1 team in the country, Georgia. First time as the underdogs in a really, really long time. It's been 92 games since they've been the underdogs, but hey,
Wow.
We're going to predict this thing out on another episode of Head to Head.
Let's go now. Oh, nah, nah, oh. Let's go now. Oh. Can't stop us. Oh. Let's go now. Oh, nah, nah, oh.
Okay, so Mike, Alabama, the underdog. The first time in 92 games that they've been the underdog. Georgia's 6.5-point favorite in this one, #1 team in the country. So a little bit of a different scenario. But before we get into this matchup, I do want to ask you, okay, we just witnessed an Iron Bowl that had a lot of people, their hearts palpitating out of their chest. I had one guy mention, Alabama needs to pay us for all the cardiac issues we've got after this game, right? It was definitely one for the ages. Where does it stack up for you? You've played in Iron Bowls, former receiver here doing his thing. Where does it stack up for games you played in or just participated in and spectated?
Probably
Where does it rank?
#2 behind the year when Roy Upchurch caught the touchdown with it as the time were expiring. But this, it was up there. I figured Bama was gonna pull it out.
You did? You
yeah,
had
I
it,
did,
like,
I
had it
did.
in there?
I'm real chill. My wife and my mom were about to flip over tables. You know, my little man is about to pull his hair out, but
No way.
I'm real cool and chill. It's just football at the end of the day. And I know Alabama's they're a fourth quarter team, so it didn't surprise me at all.
Fourth overtime team.
Yes.
That's what it's looking like, right? 4 overtimes. Can you believe that? So the first overtime, okay, so they get out of regulation. First overtime, both teams get a touchdown. Second time, it's the both kick field goals. Third time, they both get the 2-point conversion. It is crazy to me. And the new overtime rules, actually, believe it or not, a lot of people didn't even know about it. I would be curious to know how many fans in the stands watching the game as the thing was unfolding were like, wait, like, what are we doing here? And I
Right.
even heard there were some players on
I
the
didn't know.
sidelines that didn't know what was going on.
Yeah.
So what do you make of it? So, of course, you have the 2 regular overtimes, and then you go into the 2-point conversions, which then becomes basically a shootout.
I like it because, the game doesn't go on forever. It's not continuous. Continuous is whoever makes the first hiccup. So I actually like the overtime rule. So, I'm excited. I was excited, let's say that.
Excited it went in your favor. We'll see if Alabama can get it done in regulation against Georgia this upcoming week. It'll be a fun one. Okay, so I want to first start with Bryce Young. Obviously, it's kind of interesting when you look at his statistics. The lowest output for him, but now he actually re-enters to the top of the list or as being favored as the Heisman candidate after this performance against Auburn. And, his numbers obviously not great, but he showed up. He did what he needed to when it counted most. I think some of the concerns I have come into this one, obviously Bryce Young, we know what he's capable of. The bigger concerns I have, #1, the running backs. We're not sure what B-Rob is. B-Rob is TBD. We will find out more as Nick Saban gives updates throughout the week, but he has a lower leg injury.
Right.
So that could be problematic. And think about this, their entire running back room has been marred throughout the season. They've been plucking guys from left and right, trying to figure things out. So B-Rob, that is going to be a huge element to this game, in my opinion. And then, of course, going up against this defense. This is a defense.
Yeah, we thin as paper in that backfield.
Than his paper.
Yes. All I can do is say we got to pray that we can just throw the ball the whole night because I don't see us running.
So against a Georgia team that right now is giving up 8.2 points per game. Like, when you think about that and how this team 8.2 points per game is what this Georgia team is averaging. Offensively, what does this Alabama team need to do really well to contend with the Georgia defense that is tops in the country?
Pray. Just kidding. We got to attack the middle of the field. I think that's every team's pretty much weak point. You saw it against Auburn. I think the same thing. I have not seen a dominant secondary and from either side, from Alabama or Georgia. So I think we just got to attack the middle of the field, make the safeties make plays, catch balls, and make them have to tackle one-on-one. And then our receivers in space, I'll take them every day.
Yeah, I think that is going to be a big key. You get Jamison Williams. He obviously got the target against Auburn. He's back in this game. He gets to play the full game, which is big for them. Mechie, I think it's going to be key that they be catching dimes. They got to bring them in. No drop passes. Bryce Young, again, I mean, and this is a kid that brings a lot of confidence, a lot of poise. I think one of the bigger concerns for me was the fact that he got sacked 7 times in the Auburn game.
He's my new AKA Kobe Bryant. That's the Black Mamba. The boy got ice in his veins. You don't see that too often. A sophomore that calm, cool, and collected, making plays like that in crunch time. Give me that quarterback.
Yeah, and I think this is where he will continue to rise to the challenge. Will continue to show what he's about. He sat behind Mac Jones. He took his time, learned what he needed to. He's got poise, confidence, and I saw that throughout this entire football game against Auburn in the Iron Bowl, and being able to manage that and obviously extend the game into the fashion that they did, I certainly think plays into that. Big environment. We know that's how it goes in Atlanta. It always goes that way. You got equal footing. You got Georgia fans, Alabama fans. It's going to be electric.
This is a home game for Bama. Let's just say this is a home game for Alabama. We always in Georgia.
Always in Georgia.
Always in Georgia.
They've been in Georgia more than Georgia's been in Georgia.
Do you hear me?
So, again, this defense is certainly one of the best. Again, 8.2 points per game. And, again, just talking about that offensive line for Alabama, right now 108th in the nation in giving up sacks. And so, I think that is going to be critical. They are going to have to close up some of those gaps, certainly play a little bit more sound football up front if they want to be able to keep that defensive front out of their faces and off of Bryce Young. You got to protect your quarterback. But we know Bryce Young is good at scrambling, making some plays. He can get out of the pocket. So I don't know that he's going to have as much success doing that this week, but he's got to get it to his guys. And I think Mechie and Williams have to be spot on, create some explosive plays. Let's flip this to the defensive side of the football, my friend. Stetson Bennett right now, he's the quarterback, technically the backup quarterback for Georgia. 5th in the nation right now with his passer rating. He's taken the reins, and I feel like he's done a good job. And I have to be honest with you, because Georgia's defense is so good, they're the ones getting all the praise. They're the highly touted defense that everyone wants to talk about. But I do think that this Georgia offense is maybe a little bit underrated, under-talked about for what they've been able to accomplish. You seem to be pondering.
I compare this kind of like the Baltimore Ravens when they had Ray Lewis and Ed Reed them, and they had Flacco, and they still won the Super Bowl. That's kind of what we're working with. Powerhouse defense. But I'm not sold on the offense side of the ball of Georgia. I'm really not.
You aren't buying what they're putting down?
I'm not. I don't think they've really been contested or really tested like they should be, or they will be this week. I don't think they've seen anything like a Will Anderson.
Or a Will Anderson. Or a Will Anderson.
Or a Will Anderson. I mean, the man is everywhere. Magic man. Shake and bake.
Yeah.
Don't know what to get. He's first. He's not last, ever. So I don't see this being what they're accustomed to. I don't see this what they're being used to. I think you will see their quarterback looking up at the sky a lot this weekend on his back.
Oh, I love your commentary. It's always good. You're always going to get some great commentary from Mike McCoy. Okay, to counter that, I will say Stetson Bennett does have quite a few guys that can pound the rock, unlike Alabama in this one. Zamir White obviously leading the way. I think he's got over 650 yards on the season. Nice supporting cast, 5 guys, including Stetson Bennett, that have over 200 yards. So that is one area, to me, you're going to have to stop the run if you're Alabama. Stop the run, force Stetson Bennett to throw the football, maybe make some mistakes, get some takeaways. I think that's always key if those guys can do that. The secondary has been a little shaky this year for Alabama.
Always. Well, I'm not going to say always. Just years past. It hadn't been the strongest. I think with our secondary, what we're going to do, we're going to have to force them to run the ball. I mean, that's just allow our DBs to play one-on-one on that island. Force it, crash the box, stop the run game, take it away. It should be obsolete. So if Bama does what I think Bama will do, you already know who I'm rocking with.
Rocking with the Tide.
I'm rolling with the Tide.
Rolling with the Tide, yeah. And so to counter that as well, Alabama's defense ranks 5th in the nation in the run defense. And so, again, stopping the run is going to be key. I will say one thing that plays in Georgia's favor. They do get George Pickens back. So he was out with injury. He is back. He did play last week against Georgia Tech. Didn't play a lot. Didn't have a significant amount of efficiency there. But the fact that he's back, one of their big playmakers, top receivers, that certainly will help Georgia in this matchup when it counts for a lot. So my last question for you before we get into predictions: what'd you make of old Nick Saban's comments at the end of the game, telling the guys that he just wanted them to go out and have fun? Like, did Nick Saban ever say to you when you were at Alabama, "Y'all just go have fun, go have fun"? Was that ever a thing?
Zoom in. Man, please. Heck no. Man, Coach Saban didn't play that, man. I guess he turned to that granddaddy role where, you know, the kids used to get the rap and the grandkids get all the lollipops and stuff. I guess we were the main children. So these are the grandkids he's working with. So we didn't see none of that. But I was excited because I know times are changing. This generation is a little different. They're not used to the old school lashing. I'm sure he still gives them time to time, but these are, like I said, different generation means you can't coach those kids. Times change, so should your coaching. And the good thing about Coach Saban is he's evolving. So the fact that he's allowing these kids to be themselves, because wasn't no celebration, wasn't none of this. I scored my first touchdown, he cussed me out for 3 series. So maybe I was ahead of my time, I don't know. But you see the guys that they're able to be themselves. You saw us look like we were in the Marines, no swag. Only thing we could have was a little short towel, you know, but they got the back flaps out, got the long tees. I mean, who is this guy? Who are these guys? But Nick Saban is a mastermind, so, and he understands the art of war. So if you know anything about coaching, you understand that book and you understand how he applies it. It's kind of the Bill Belichick, Nick Saban, the Jedi mind tricks, what they're doing.
I want to get into the predictions. Look, I'm going to be honest with you guys. I have struggled with this one. I have struggled with this one. Even weeks ago when we knew this thing was happening, we really didn't know this was happening until they beat Arkansas. That was to clinch the West. But struggling with this one because this Georgia team has just been on fire all season long. I mean, pitching shutouts left and right. Nobody can score on them. It has been insane in terms of just the level of defense they have is like not even elite. It is like out of this world, like somewhere else. Like, what are we dealing with here? So my biggest concern is, can Alabama score on these guys? And if they do score, can they, A, get a lead, B, stop Stetson Bennett and company and keep them from scoring? Can they get enough pressure on those guys offensively? And I think, to me, there's going to have to be a major counterattack if Alabama wants to come and win. I will say in their favor, the way this Iron Bowl shook out, the emotion that they played with, had they gone into Jordan-Hare Stadium and wiped up the floor with Auburn, I don't know that we would see the same emotion that I believe that we will see in this SEC championship game. I am excited about it. I think it's going to be war. I mean, it's going to be an absolute slugfest. But I will say, because I know what you're going to predict, but I will say, y'all, I'm really struggling with this one. I'm going to go 3-point game. Georgia wins 20-17. And y'all know I don't bet against y'all often, but I mean, those betting folks, they kind of know what they're doing sometimes.
All I'm going to say, the student never beats the master. And Kirby, he got your number, man. And I'm going to throw this out there. If Georgia, with the team that they have, if they do not win this game, they won't ever win the Natty because they have all the pieces. But they got Coach Saban. That is the difference. So with me, I'm going 24-17 Bama. Boom.
Talking a little trash on the field? Yeah, we get it. Trashing the state with litter? That's terrible. Keep it clean. Keep Alabama beautiful.
It's guaranteed that I die a legend. Yeah, son God, homie, I'm reverend. Preach, just protecting my investment. Ask about me, integrity's not a question.